In the last tutorial, we have seen the how to configure a request specification. So we have seen the example where we have created a request specification for different type of requests. The request which consists the query parameter, path parameter, and we have also seen it for the post type of request. So today we are going to see whatever response we are getting, how to validate that kind of response. So in the rest assured, there are different ways you can validate a single response. So there are ways like you can validate a response with a Groovy. You can map your response to the Java object and do the validation, or you can use the Java path for the response validation. So what I will do, I will do the same validation with the different types. We will see the difference. Start with, we will first view our response. So I have installed the Postman tool uh, just for the better viewing of the response. So you can see I am trying to query on the get employee, and so getting our response as this thing. So we will be making use, or we will be validating our response against this request only, because the similar thing you can do it with other responses. So to start with, we will get the response first. So let's say response is equal to, so we need to copy paste this thing which will give us the response and map it to the response object. So right now we have a response in our hand. So let's do some validations. So to start with, we can have a response, and let's say then and body. So in this body you can specify different type of validation you want to perform. So as per our JSON response, we have first name, last name, address and phone number. So I want to validate the first name first. So to do that, I need to write the attribute name, which is the first name, and we will make a use of the static imports, which is equal to, I think it's fluent. Okay, so this is a simple way to do the validation. So you go ahead, write a body. Inside a body you specify the attribute name and the expected value. So let's go ahead and run this example. So it's running. So it has been passed. So you can say the request URL is what we have seen earlier, the same, and the response is the same thing, and we haven't logged anything as such, and that is why it has been passed. So this works. Just to clarify and just to prove the validation works, let me go ahead and change this value to Alex. So now this test should fail. So we are expecting a failure message saying Alice is not equal to fluent or anything such as like that. So this has been failed. Let's see what's the error message is there. So exactly what we're expecting. One expected expectation failed, and what it says is Alex uh, is not equal to the fluent, because expected was Alex and actually is fluent. That is right. So let me change this thing and fluent. But you might ask me that the requirement would be not to write only single parameter but the multiple parameters or multiple attributes. So there is a way to do that. So what you have to do is specify a body, then the last name equals to weight, then the body, then address equals to New York. I think it's New York. Yeah. Okay. So let me check whatever it's done is right. Yes, it is right. So now what we have added is dot body, the last name, address. So we are trying to validate all these conditions in one line, and that is why I called it inline validations. So let's go ahead and run this thing. Yeah, so it has validated all these things and it has passed. But in some cases you might think, I don't want to do the you know assertion which are, this is hard assertions. Let's say if if I put Alex back here and I run it, it will not validate the last name and address. So that's kind of you know hard assertions. So if you want to have a soft assertion, there is a way to do this. So what you need to do is, the way you are writing, you need to change the way. So instead of putting everything after dot and dot, you need to put in this all these things in a under single body. So this definition is goes something like this. I added first, then the last, and let's need to remove this body. Don't need body because we are already inside the body. So what it is we are telling rest assured to do is validate the first name, then the last name, then the address, same as above. But this time the difference is we are not restricting rest assured to fail the test when any of the condition is failed. It will fail the test, but it will not halt the execution. Uh, so first we will execute this thing just to see whatever we have written is working or not. Okay, so it has executed and it has passed. So both the things, both the way of writing is working. So the second thing which is to validate, is it verifying something which is after one another. So let's say for to do that I will change this thing to Alex. So it will fail the Alex. So in normal hard assertion it should come out of the execution. But it should validate the weight, and I will, let's say I change this New York to CA. Okay. So in this case it should fail with two errors, and it will prove the point that it not only verifies everything but it doesn't halt the execution because we are doing the soft assertion. So it has running. Okay, now it has failed. So we should expect two failures. It is. So it's saying two failures. It says Alex is failed and this is failed. What it has done is it has checks all the three conditions. And if you want to verify this thing, same thing against York. Okay, okay. So just for the time being I just comment this thing. So same thing with, if you do here, it will fail only once. Let's execute. Okay. So if you see, it's saying one expectation failed. The first name doesn't match, where Alex is expected and actually is fluent, but it hasn't verified the remaining two parameters, which is last name and address. But in case of soft assertion, it did verify all the types. So it depends on your requirement how you want to implement this thing. But this is inline validation with hard and soft assertion. So next thing to do the response validation is to use a path. So we will go over it like just we have done for the inline validation. So first we will see the example of hard assertion and then we will the soft assertion. So to do the get the value from the response, what you need to do is just type simply the response and then the path. So you need to specify the path. So currently our path is first name. So what it will do is it will get the value of whatever path you have specified from the JSON. So it will just print the path. So what you need to do the assertion. So we will take help of uh, test-ng assertions. So assert dot assert equals. So this is our actual value, and we will validate against the original value. Okay, so let me put the right parameter first. So let me change this also, fluent, and this was new. Yeah, so everything is right. So we should be able to see the positive response again because we are making use of this path. So the primary difference between the inline validation and the path, using the path validation, is you're not doing any kind of validations inside the line, the statement you are making. So first thing, you get the value and then you do the validation. So that's the only difference which I can see in between the inline and the path validation. So let's go ahead and run this. So we are expecting a positive and the pass test case, and we should get that pass test case, and pass it is. So it's very simple. And if you want to do multiple validation, you just put a similar kind of statements again and again. So if you want to do it again for the last name, then put here last name, same thing, and wait. Okay, so in case of soft assertion, what you need to make of use of soft assert, which is again as a test-ng class, just create an object of soft assert and then make of this soft assert dot assert equal. Let me copy paste this. Yeah, I will copy paste the same thing again. Okay, so this is our last name, this is the weight, and this is address, and this is our New York, the beautiful city. And soft assertion, you need to make sure you write this statement, otherwise it will not assert anything whichever you are specifying on this one. So we are done with the hard assertion. So now we'll just execute the soft assertion part. Let's go ahead and run it. So you can play around this example if you want, because I will be uploading this example to the Git, and you can play with this, changing the assertion and all those things. So currently it has passed. So we are expecting same thing. Let's say if we want to do the same thing which we have done in case of inline validation, we change this to Alex, we change this to CA. So we are expecting two different failures. Yes, it has failed. Let's see the failures. Let's see, null, null. So it failed with null null error because we haven't specified the message, the error message. So right now I specified the error message saying the first name is not equal and the city is not equal. So if we run this thing, we should expect the two different failures with a proper error message. So let's see what are the errors. Okay, first name is not equal and city is not equal. So this concludes this tutorial with we have seen two different ways of doing the validations. One is inline validation. So we have seen in inline validation, we have seen the hard assertion and the soft assertion. Same as with the path validation. So we have seen hard assertion and the soft assertion. I would like to encourage you guys to download this project and do some R&D or do some play with this code. The third type of validation which is pending, which is mapping the response to the Java object, we will see in the next tutorial. So thank you guys for watching this video.
And